Good evening, Konkona Horindom Lahiri. Good evening. Today's subject is on Bangladesh Liberation War. Some questions unanswered. Yes. Dev Mukherjee. Thank you all. Bangladesh Liberation War. Some questions unanswered. I have failed to get any book till today published on this site in this part of India or from Bangladesh. Any book where I have got the answers to my questions. From when Mujibur Rahman or his associates thought in terms of liberation of East Pakistan from the hand of Pakistan, from when they thought of Bangladesh Liberation War and free Bangladesh, I have not got the answer. And one thing was very much irritating me for a long period. 71, when Bangladesh war was held, it was my year of school living, and I was at that time in IIT. One thing I was astonished, in the world, many countries who are liberated, the history of the liberation wars very long, for years, for decades, for many decades. You think of the liberation war of South Africa, India, for a century. Think of Vietnam, other countries. Liberation war is for century, for decades. And also think of wars all over the world. After the Second Great War, in dozens of fronts, wars has taken place, and wars are still continuing. Some of the wars of 70 years. Think of the Arab-Israel war, the Palestine-Vietnam war, 70 years. Think of problem in our Kashmir, Indo-Pak war, 70 years. Think of Vietnam war for few decades. Korean war, decades. And think of this Bangladesh war. It was completed just within 13 days. 13 days. The shortest, sharpest war in the world after the Second Great War. And remember, this is a victory of the Indian Army. Indian Army at war with Pakistan. Never such a clean result in such a short war. Never. If this is the success of only Indian Army and with the generals of the Indian Army, how can this be such a very sharp war with a clean result? The birth of Bangladesh. The very army which cannot recapture our old territory like POC in last 70 years, how that very army won the war in just 13 days? And my argument is this. Definitely, the topmost general behind the curtain must be someone else, not these visible generals of the Indian Army. Something is there behind. Another very important event, that is Simla Agreement, that was haunting me. What is the text of the Simla Agreement held in 1972 in Simla? Those who have gone to Simla, you have seen the place of that agreement between Bhutto from Pakistan side and Indira for India side. That site, the historic site. And what is the text of this Simla Agreement? Is it a very honorable agreement for the country? India, Akhileshwar Prasad, God Dada, yes, for you, this is today I am in English. Yes, listen to my questions. And think of the text of the Simla Agreement. Remember, at that moment before starting the discussion on the Simla, India on the world floor, diplomatically a victorious country and militarily a victorious country. And what Indira did on this table of agreement? He allowed 93,000 Pakistani soldiers imprisoned in our prisons, captured, go to Pakistan with honor, with their salary from our exchequer. And those very captured Pakistani soldiers are criminals of war. They have raped millions of our mothers and sisters in Bangladesh and had tortured and butchered 1 crore of people as per the Nixon document. And as per the white paper published by Bangladesh government subsequently, it is around 40 lakhs. Neither the Indira Gandhi nor the Mujibur Rahman proceeded to execute further war crimes. Why? Number 3, Indira Gandhi did not bargain for our lost land in the hands of Pakistan. Why? And our 23,000 soldiers in the Pak jails are suffering. We did not bargain for that. We did not bargain neither for our lost land nor for our lost soldiers in the Pak jails. But we gave 93,000 Pak soldiers, allowed them to go back to Pakistan with honor, with their salaries from our exchequer. Can you pick up such an example in the world anywhere where a militarily and diplomatically a victorious country has done such an agreement with a defeated, demoralized enemy country? Why Indira Gandhi did this? Was it done for good of the country? Is it a nationalistic attitude of Indira Gandhi? Does it prove Indira Gandhi loves India? Does it prove Indira Gandhi wanted this war? Does it prove Indira Gandhi wanted this war to be with this result? And another question. We have seen the chief of the army, General Manekshaw. His salary was stopped. His pension benefit process was stopped. And that pensions only has been given after long decades, when that war hero was at the deathbed when the last president of this country, Kalam Sahib, went to near his deathbed and gave the papers of his pension papers and benefits. Why? The Congress government is angry with Manik Shah. Another very important question that clearly shows Indira Gandhi really wanted not this result and this behavior of our war heroes. Had he been very happy, had she wanted that, the Simla agreement must have been in different text. Had she been very happy with the results of the Bangladesh war, she could not have done such a behavior with our war hero like Manik Shah. Something is missing. Something is being concealed. The fact is definitely different. In usual texts published from India side or from Bangladesh side, always they are trying to depict in that war two very important persons, only two very important persons. From Bangladesh side, Mujibur Rahman, for India side, Indira Gandhi, are the architect of this liberation war. I doubt that. Why not Mujibur Rahman wanted the trial of the war criminals in 1971-72? Why he allowed all the war criminals of this such genocide of lakhs of Bengalis? As per Nixon documents, it is 1 crore. As per white paper of the Bangladesh government, subsequent 40 to 50 lakhs. Why not the war criminal trial? Why Indira Gandhi allowed that? And you see that war criminal trial has been started by his daughter after so many decades now, that is continuing now. Why not at that time? That clearly shows something else was in the mind of Mujibur Rahman and something different in the minds of Indira Gandhi. They wanted something else, both Indira Gandhi and Mujibur Rahman. But something happened to their astonishment. Again, my question: when Arindam Naidu sir, when did the build-up of this movement started? Yes, that's my question. Only they thought of liberating Bangladesh from the hand of Pakistan when Pakistan did not allow the proposal of Mujibur Rahman to make him the head of the Pakistan as a whole. Because before that, in the election, Awami League own all these seats, -2 from this side. And as a whole, in both the two Pakistans, he was the majority party. Naturally, in a democratic norm, he is supposed to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan. But Bhutto did not allow that. And only after that, also, Mujibur Rahman wanted more autonomy of East Pakistan within the Pakistan frame. He never thought of independent Bangladesh. Only when the armies started of Pakistan torture on East Bengal, that is East Pakistan at that time, in the 11th hour, Mujibur Rahman gave a call for independent Bangladesh. That's the call at the 11th hour. And in the world, such a short period, a Mukti Bahini, a liberation army, cannot be formed. So far as I've tried the volumes from Bangladesh, even the writings of Mujibur Rahman, which they have published, I have nowhere got that answer. Actually, their preparation from Mukti Bahini is very haphazard, very short period, ultra short period. And if you think of the preparation of the Indian army here on this side, from when Indira Gandhi and our army is being prepared, that is also only preparation of only few months. But there are some characters who are being prepared for liberation of Bangladesh from many years back. That chapters, that pages will gradually come out. Someone like to know the role of the mystery man. One thing let me tell you very clearly. To someone, the independence movement is completed. To persons who think division of the country and transfer of power is the independence movement of India, yes, that is so to them. But to some freedom fighters and followers of some ideology and some freedom fighters, they do not regard this 1947 partition and transfer of power is the completion of their freedom movement. To them, freedom movement of India is yet to be completed. Naturally, they will not disclose their strategy. Disclose what is their plan. You cannot expect the history of all those heroes who are secretly serving the motherland. Their diaries naturally will not come out into the light. But if that come out, it will be disclosure to the public at the same time to the enemies of the country, to the enemies of the liberation war. Similarly, I can tell you, Bangladesh war is a part of this, greater part of this liberation war of India. And naturally, the persons who are secretly behind this liberation war were the real heroes of the liberation war. Those chapters is not supposed to come to light. If that come out, and again I am telling, Bangladesh liberation war is not complete. Bangladesh liberation war, only one chapter is complete. We are waiting for the next chapter of the Bangladesh liberation. Similarly, for Bharatvarsha, another phase is coming. Before that, we are not supposed to know the details of the strategies of the masters of this true liberation war. What Akeshwar Prasad UP Baba said, he was present that time at Disguise, very near the location where two generals were talking. Akeshwar, I will talk on that area subsequently. I will talk very soon. Tapos Shubho Sandhya. Shantanu Chaudhary sir, I am very fortunate to listen to your lecture live. Akhileshwar Prasad, I am very annoyed as one big spoon said that Indian army had the blessings of Indira. Ravis, that is why I am in unrest. Akhileshwar, don't worry. Wait. Wait. Wait for the next chapter. Next chapter. Good evening. Both Indira Gandhi and Mujibur Rahman was not mentally prepared about such a sharp, short war, such a quick victory, and a clean result of birth of Bangladesh in such a short period. It was beyond their imagination. Beyond their imagination. And remember that very Mujibur Rahman, if you think, Akeshwar Prasad, if you think he wanted to liberate Bengalis from the hands of Pakistanis, it is a wrong perception. He was an Islamist. He was an Islamist from the beginning. And even after the Bangladesh liberation, his character did not change. He remained Islamist. And in the period of Mujibur Rahman, when he was the leader of Bangladesh, free Bangladesh, in his time, in Dhaka, in the land of Ramna Kalibari, a memorial was erected in the name of Suraburti. The very Suraburti, who is the master of Great Calcutta Killing, the master of execution of the Jinnah's plan of direct action in Bangladesh, in Bengal, joint Bengal, in this West Bengal, in Calcutta, also in East Bengal. He's a butcher of Bengal. And Mujibur Rahman was the right-hand man of Suraburdi in 1946 Calcutta killing. And after the completion of the war, they saw that South Indian theatre, the South Asian theatre, is going from their hands to some other hand. And the two-nation theory of Jinnah, Suraburdi, Mujibur Rahman is buried at the war front of Bangladesh Liberation War. They thought a religion, an Islam, on religion, Pakistan will be built up. That dream is shattered. Pakistan divided. Pakistan weakened. And this war proved a religion only cannot build a nation. A religion only cannot bridge East Pakistan with West Pakistan. Something else is needed. Two-nation theory is buried in 1971 in Bangladesh war. Some other questions were haunting me. I will come to this, that mystery man at the end. Every congressman till today boast of Indira Gandhi triumph. If they are really proud of Indira Gandhi, what is the Simla Agreement? What is the Simla Agreement? Simla Agreement is nothing but conversion of our national military and diplomatic victory into a diplomatic defeat of India. It's a dishonor to our nation, to our Bharatvarsha. She has sabotaged. She did it so that Pakistan can survive. He did it for the good of Pakistan. Indira is an Islamist. He's a Pakistan lover. She is the daughter of Nehru, who is the maker of Pakistan, who is the maker of POC. Nehru gifted the part of Kashmir in the form of POC to Pakistan. Nehru is a traitor. Indira is an Islamist. And the result of Bangladesh war, the moment Indira saw, she saw to her astonishment that this has shattered all the plans of Nehru and Mohandas Gandhi to keep Bharatvarsha divided. She saw under the nose the death of two-nation theory. She saw under his nose the death of the political equations of British, of UK on this South Asia, on this Bharatvarsha. Can there be any duplicate copy of 1970 war file of Indian Army or Indom? There I am coming. All the war files in the Victoria Memorial has been destroyed just after 1971 under the instruction of your Indira Gandhi. Akhileshwar Prasad, such a simple treaty was that assembled, yes. Partho, Shubhasandha, Dipankar, Shantanu, why cannot we get all documents related to Bangladesh war as it is only our glory of the world? Yes, that is my question. That is my question. Yes, I am giving Shantanu, I am giving you the answer. Giving the answers. Suppose a lawyer, after a brilliant argument in the court, has won the case. Will he destroy the case files? Suppose a surgeon has done a brilliant surgery. Will he destroy his operation note file? No, never. Never. But you see, Indira Gandhi claiming such a brilliant victory, ordered destruction of the war files related to Bangladesh war. Just after the end of the war, I am coming to that area. Yes, that area. I am giving that answer. Think of 3 big headlines articles in the Times of India. 9th May 2010. And in that very week, another 2 big articles on Bangladesh war history. Remember, throughout the world, there is a tendency after retirement, generals try to read the war files. The tendency is to become the war historians. They try to become the war historians. And when such soldiers and officers after retirement was trying to get hold of the files in Victoria Memorial so that they can read and write some articles or some books or history, they came to the Victoria Memorial. They, to their astonishment, saw Army's Bangladesh war files lost forever, destroyed. That is the headline, Times of India, 9th May 2010. Why? And they are this clearly at the instruction of the political head of the country. The war files were destroyed. Why? Number 2, another big question was raised by another general. There is a popular story propagated from the days of 19 that what time that Pakistan submarine Ghazi was destroyed by our submarine INS Ranjit on the coast, South Indian coast, that is near the Visakhapatnam. And that general is arguing, how can we, our navy, will be able to destroy the Ghazi. Because for any destruction of a enemy country's submarine, first thing is needs detection. And detection has to be done by a sonar. Sonar means ultrasound machine. Sonar. And the general is telling at that time in our no submarine, sonar was available. And in reality, we did not destroy the Ghazi. And that destruction of the Ghazi actually collapsed the Pakistan Navy. And after the death of this Ghazi Pakistani submarine, the whole Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean came in our favor, because on the very loss of this Ghazi submarine, the protection of the Karachi port was lost. We could very easily surround the Karachi port. And the death of this Ghazi submarine was very important. And when our country, our navy, did not really destroy the Ghazi submarine of Pakistan, who destroyed this? Who destroyed this? Another big question. And another very important story has come out in that Bangladesh war. A mysterious army came from Tibet. A mysterious army came from Tibet. They were operating from the northern part of East Pakistan. They successfully completed their operations and went back. That is also in the records. But Government of India wants to conceal many facts related to Bangladesh Liberation War, because the revelations of those facts may not be comfortable for the Government of India. Maybe. But while they will destroy the files, they may conceal the files while they destroy the files. And another thing I tell you, there are many things to be answered. Another very important, I'll come to that point, history and that point. Another very unfortunate thing happened, very tragic thing happened. You know of the person, Trailokya Maharaj? I think you know Trailokya Nath Chakraborty, Trailokya Maharaj. In history of the world of liberation movements, he is the man who passed longest period in prison cell, longer than your South African that leader Nelson Mandela, much longer than Nelson Mandela. Total period of imprisonment of Trailokya Chakraborty, Trailokya Maharaj is 28 years in British prison cell and 5 years in Pakistan jail, plus few years home interned. That is more than 33 years plus. Today I was seeing another very big man, Savarkar. Savarkar was in jail for 26 years in British prison cell. Arindam, have I given your answer? Mukti Bahini had lady soldiers. I have not come across such document. That's why I'll not be able to comment on this. Mukti Bahini had lady soldiers in the same way as that of the Azad Hind Fauj. That is really a mystery. I do not know. J. Shah, good discussion with references to other national liberation movement is quite interesting. I appreciate your narratives with a high. One thing, it is not 90, but 93,000 of Pakistani, 90, yes, 93. Someone say it is 1 lakh, someone says 83. Like that is huge amount. Yes. To in an army, so after 13 days war, just a 13 days war. Yes. You are on the spill of beans of Mrs. Indira Gandhi and Mujibur Rahman's mind. Thank you so much. So Partho Sharnal Manekshaw was punished as he executed plan of Mahakal. Can it be possibility? And may Mahakal was actively involved and designed? I do not know. In Faizabad, what I have seen, Faizabad, I have heard, because Faizabad, I have heard also other places, when Mahakal was there in different parts of this Uttarakhand, the high military officers at the middle of night was coming to him. Do not know why. Akileshwar Prasad, Islamist, yes, you are right, Dada. Hit the right point. Yes, thank you. Shubhrangshu evening. Shandip Kumar Kaur. Shandip ki bolche, what? Namshar, have you got those documents? What I am telling from documents. What I have not, I will not talk on those. Dipankar Chakraborty, I do not think so. I saw an interview of Manekshaw where he was speaking about Bengalis in such a manner that Bengalis are weak-minded, weak-bodied during war also, when Vallabhbhai Patel and Manekshaw used to gossip and boast of how many timid Bengalis got killed in Delhi war in boastful mockery. I saw it in an interview and I felt he did not know much about Bengali sacrifice prior to independence or Bengali culture. Manekshaw was a Parsi and he did not have any positive sensitivity about Bengali culture. Simla agreement was, Dipankar, I can tell you one thing. If any information from Mahakal to Manekshaw will never be able to know who is this Mahakal. Or Manekshaw is not supposed to know from where the direction is coming. Suppose you have gone to the Shankaracharya openly. Shankaracharya is moving openly, not secretly. Do you know the real identity of Shankaracharya? Who is the biologically the man is? Don't know. Shana Basu. Simla agreement was an act of treachery by an ideal daughter of Nehru. Trailokya Maharaj died mysteriously. Yes, Arindam Naidu, I come to that place. And you see, I think in 1970, like before 1 year before the Bangladesh war started, Trailokya Maharaj was invited to Delhi by Indira Gandhi. And joint session of parliament, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, was convened to honor Trailokya Maharaj. And the last day, Indira Gandhi arranged the dinner for Trailokya Maharaj. After taking that dinner, Troiloknath became very sick. And he died at that night. And the dead body was brought on the subsequent day to Calcutta airport. There I say, before that, already there is very mysterious deaths, mysterious murders of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Shastriji, and many ones, and here Trailokya Maharaj. Trailokya Maharaj, the British prison in 28 years could not kill him in prison cell. Park jail could not kill him. But a dinner party in Delhi could finish him. And you know what is Indira Gandhi, what she can do. And who is this Trailokya Maharaj? Read history, you will know what is Trailokya Maharaj. In our freedom movement of this Bharatvarsha, also freedom movement of Bangladesh. This Trailokya Maharaj. Today I will read one letter of Trailokya Maharaj to Bhagavanji, the Mahakal. That letter we got in while we were exploring the trunks of Mahakal in Faizabad Treasury in 2002 under Justice Mukherjee Commission. We discovered that letter of Trailokya Maharaj to Bhagavan. It is preserved there, it is indexed. And subsequently we have come to know, and those papers are already exhibits in the JMCI, how through Leela, revolutionary leader Leela Rai, and his team, one line of contact between Bhagavanji on this part of India and Trailokya Maharaj in Bangladesh, when he was home intern, a communication was established. That is the year 1965. Vietnam Liberation War, Bangladesh Liberation War were in the same time, yes, simultaneously. Heard that Vietnam Army too present in Bangladesh. But in the newspapers of Times of India, they report that one Tibetan army came to this northern part of East Pakistan for liberation war, and they left this place mysteriously again back to their own place. And that letter by Trailokya Maharaj to Bhagavanji. I am telling in English, Akeshwar Prasad, the letter is in Bengali, but for you I have translated. I am telling in English the translation. The date of the letter is 11th November 1965. It's long before the turbulence in East Pakistan started. 5 years back. Right. Addressing Joy Jukteshu. Joy Jukteshu. After partition, I have decided not to leave my land, which has become Pakistan. I am not going to leave my land, which is now East Pakistan. I will stay in East Pakistan. I am in the East Pak. I have not forgot the person. I am with the person with whom I was together in Mandalay jail in Brahmadesh. After my entering the jail, he told that the seat of Maharaj will be on my side. I have played tennis with him inside the jail campus. I have started with him. I have started with him inside the jail demanding Durga Puja. I am with him now. In 1940 in Delhi, I was with him in the residence of Shankar Lal. That is when Subhash Bose is campaigning for his further bloc in 1940 in North India. In motor car, I was with him in his tour in UP. In severe cold night, up to 9 p.m., that's a late night, many thousands of people were eagerly waiting for him. Now I am waiting for him. Persecuted, oppressed people of East Pakistan is looking at his face for their liberation. Persecuted, oppressed people of East Pakistan is looking at him, at his face for their liberation. Sri Trailokya Nath Chakraborty is the letter in November 1965, 5 to 6 years before the crisis in East Pakistan started. Remember, that means a team is becoming ready from within Pakistan, Bangladesh and outside from long before. And Trailokya Maharaj is wanting blessings from a man, the mystery man, who is at that time in Uttarakhand, mysteriously staying. Now I will go to some indications, some records of involvement of the mystery man, the Bhagavanji, the Mohakal, or the Gumnami Baba in the liberation war. Akhilesh, oh my God, one more mysterious death of Trailokya Maharaj, yes. Now I will open up the book, Oi Mohamanab Ashe. Taposh, Oi Mohamanab Ashe. Oi Mohamanab Ashe. I am yet to see many of the diaries of the disciples of Mahakal. I am yet to see. What is in Oma, I am showing. Taposh, I am showing. I hope you have read this. Yes, in that book, The Mystery of Vietnam War, something is written also about Bangladesh war. In Oi Mohamanab Ashe, actually, orchestra in Bengali, an English conversion has been done by Dr. Shankar Chatterjee, and that volume is hailed to the magnanimous. If you can get it, you read it. I am about Bangladesh war. And before the Bangladesh war, what Mahakal is telling to the mystery telling to his disciples. I have seen what the Mahakal is telling. I have seen the Joshore fort. It's underground fort. Only one battalion of Pak soldiers in East Pakistan. It is a matter of 1.5 days. That he is telling. And he is giving the narrations of the underground construction of the Pakistan army in Joshore fort. That means definitely he has moved there. Seen, he has gone there, camouflaged. He has visited the things, seen the things, and he has strategized his war. And there are narratives. One narrative I am telling you. I have to be partly a Nadir Shahu in East Pakistan. If by that it is not possible, I have to be full Nadir Shahu. You and your people in East Bengal get the whole gamut of thing. Never any one of you shout and say for united Bengal for heaven's sake. The Muslims of East Bengal have been primed as to be in no mood to be united with Hindu West Bengal. They want to chuck the independent Muslim Bengal. That let the Muslims of East Bengal have get it seemingly on their own gas. First, the next stage shall crop up. At that time, some of the disciples of Mahakal is praying to Mahakal that in this period, let it be liberated East Bengal be annexed to India. And Mahakal is telling, no, don't tell that, don't warn that. Because the people of that part of Bengal, they want Islamic Bangladesh. Let them test it. Let them get it. Let them test it. Then the next phase will come. That means this is one phase of the Bangladesh liberation. Next phase will come. Let them test their Islamic Pakistan. And in another part, he is clearly told the whole war will be very short, and about the Joshore fort, which is the biggest fort in Dedan East Pakistan, mainly underground. There he is telling, this is a matter of 1.5 days. And he is telling to his disciples, the moment you will hear fall of the Joshore fort, keep in mind that Dhaka fall will be imminent. It will be imminent. A very short period. And in this book, the subsequent pages in 82 onwards, I'm seeing if you read this, here it is the narratives. This mystery man in moving in some vessel in the big rivers inside Bangladesh and moving in different parts of in East Pakistan, and names of the different villages, parts are mentioned there. That means at that time the mystery man was inside Bangladesh. And one warning is there, I tell you. When this when this and warning after the Bangladesh war completion. And one place I am seeing after the Mujibur Rahman became supreme leader in Bangladesh, was ruling Bangladesh. And here in India, after the Bangladesh war, remember one thing, when the Bangladesh war was declared, at that time Indira Gandhi in India was running a minority government with the help of CPI. And with the help of CPI, she was running a minority government. And after the war, Indira Gandhi became the Asian tiger, the Mukti Surya of Asia, that brought her name and fame. And after the war, in the All India election, she got absolute majority, single-handed. And you see the funny thing, within 4 years, she felt crisis. She felt threatened, as if someone is trying to dislodge her from power. She felt helpless. She thought she's losing power. She declared emergency in 1975. The very Asian tiger, the Asia Mukti Surya lost all courage and declared emergency. And she declared emergency to protect her children. Such a strong lady who won the war, Bangladesh war, standing against China, against America. These are the popular narratives. How she can feel so helpless? And on the opposite side, in Bangladesh, what happened to Mujibur Rahman? You know, in 75, 15th August, what happened in Dhaka? Before that, one direction to the disciples of Mahakal, from Mahakal. Mahakal is giving directions. But at that time, remember, from this West Bengal, many persons were going to East Bengal, as because actually many residents of West Bengal are the refugees from East Bengal. They wanted to see their old residences, forefathers' places. But the warning came from Mahakal to his disciples. He told them, don't stay in Bangladesh on that side. On the 8th, beyond the middle of the 8th month of the year. 8th month means August. And you see what happened on 15th August 1975. And you see in Oi Mahamanava Ashe Oma, there are plenty of indications that Mahakal had a role, direct role, not only indirect, direct role in Bangladesh war. One thing I tell you, let me stop here today. You have to read this volume very carefully. When this Charonik was writing these articles and subsequently compilation of this volume, remember at that time it was not possible to write in clear words. what Mohakal told. Because if you clearly tell everything, if many things are disclosed to the public, a disclosure to public means naturally a disclosure to the enemies. That will be not good, not safe for the persons who has planned the next phase of the Bangladesh liberation and the next phase of the liberation of Bharatvarsh. Because remember, enemies are many. Enemies inside India, camouflaged in many forms. I have told you. All Kongus, all Marcus, all Sikhs are against the dream of greater Bharatvarsh, the unified Bharatvarsh. All are to, and all these Sikhu, Maku, Kongus in different uniforms and camouflages, they want to help survival of Pakistan, either in form of Islamic Bangladesh or this Pakistan in the West. These Sikhumaku Kongus are the best friends of this Islamic Bangladesh and this Islamic Pakistan. And they are always in collaboration with the big global masters who are the enemies of Bharatvarsh. Many things should not be disclosed, and no top general, very intelligent, will allow the disclosure of his plans before the completion, before the execution of his total project. Let me stop here. Shahana, it is okay? I did not notice, even notice, word notice. Dipankar, apologize. I took your name directly. I meant Shahnadi, as you are like my elder. Oh, okay, Dipankar. I apologize. What's why for apology? Fear of the ghost, Shahna. Fear of the ghost. Yes. This. And naturally, after so many deaths of very important persons, the real, honest, the true liberators, true heroes of our liberation should work very secretly. Their plans should remain secret. This is not an academic exercise. Time is the best judge. Shana, Oi Mohammadabashe, Dipankar, which book, Shana? Yes, Oi Mohammadabashe. And in English, that book is Hail to the Magnanimous. Some compilation. And Akhileshwar, I hope you have come to touch some of my points. Now you go on. This question should be in your brain. Then you go on searching. My questions will stimulate you to search volumes and papers. Taposh, Vietnam liberation was, I think, many things they will not be able to disclose. Even the Vietnam government today, they have to keep it concealed. Yes, you have a very sharp, balanced, efficient. But one thing, if Manekshaw thinks that Bengalis are weak-minded, he's not wrong. Only one Raspberry Bose or few Khudirams, one Subhash Bose. By that we cannot tell that we are all very strong-minded. Dipankar, never forget. We have allowed Ours used to rule by the CPM, communists by 34 years, and a new regime for last 10 years. This doesn't prove that we are very strong-minded, very, 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 very volatile, very mentally fractured, very weak-minded. Dinner at Delhi, yes. And and at that time, many generals of the Indian Army was in touch with the Mahakal. But the generals did not know who the Mahakal is. Thousands of persons meet Shankaracharya. Do they know who the Shankaracharya is? No. And those contacts need not be direct. That maybe a message, the instruction will come through messages. Need not come directly. And they need not know who the man biologically is. Let me stop here today. And I think there's some questions that's come up. I will discuss on one day. The papers on Savarkar. I think that should be discussed. And also I think I should discuss one day the role of Mednipur in our freedom movement in last 120, in our political movements in last 120 years. How it has acted as a political pacemaker. During our freedom movement days, also after partition, the Mednipur as a political pacemaker. I do not know whether it will be interesting to you. Let me stop here. Thank you. Thank you.